It's all my rebels. Today we're going to be talking about if there is going to be a high school wrestling season in 2020. Let's get right into the video. So first off, there are really like 4 options as to the high school wrestling seasons in 2020. And the first one, it's definitely going to be just having a normal season. Second one, having a kind of like mass season. Third one, a later season. And then fourth one, it's just having no season. Alright, the first option is to have kind of like a normal wrestling season, maybe like a bit condensed. But this is definitely not going to be happening all throughout the US. Definitely, I think it's only happening in a few states, very few. I'm not sure which, but I know at least one state is doing that. But it's definitely going to have like a few less competitions for sure. Maybe a state series, but very unlikely. But they will be having competitions and practices and stuff like that. So this could work, but it isn't 100% safe. There have been kind of surges where they have done this in certain states. So not completely safe, and I don't know, it's very doubtful that a lot of states in the US are going to do this. Maybe like 1 or 2, but definitely not more than 10 to 15. Second option is to kind of have like a season but with masks. Now this isn't just going to be masks for the referees or the personnel around them, but it's actually going to be for the wrestlers themselves. And this kind of sounds like a good idea, but I do not think it will be. I know Michigan is for sure going to be doing this for their high school boys wrestling season, but you also have to remember that masks, they might stop COVID-19, but they're definitely still going to be carrying germs. They could be easily ripped off. Matches, we're definitely going to have to stop for that. And not only that, in wrestling, as you know, a lot of germs are being spread around. Skin diseases, skin infections, ringworm, pinworm, all that stuff. And the masks could possibly spread it around as well. It is always a hazard in sports to have like close touches and stuff like that there's going to be skin infections, and the mask could increase that. But if I had to pick whether there should be a season with maybe a few more skin infections here or there, or if there's no season at all, I'd definitely pick the mask. But there is that concern. But even with masks, there's definitely probably not going to be a state competition in Michigan. They said only tournaments with 4 schools or less. So at that point, it's really not a tournament. It's like a quad or a tri, depending on whatever your state calls it. And they also said that wrestlers cannot wrestle more than 3 matches and only 1 competition per week, which really sucks. But definitely have it better like this than in the 4th option, which we'll be covering later in the video. The 3rd option, having kind of like a delayed wrestling season. This is what my state is going to do. Illinois, they're starting the wrestling season in I think April or maybe May, something like that, and it's going to go into the summer. This is also a good option because, as you know, vaccine might be coming out. A lot of good news about corona. Hopefully there's a cure by then. So definitely I would say it's better than to start it right now. But it might not happen. Even if there is no vaccine, it could still happen, but there's definitely going to be almost no competitions then. They said they'll only probably have practices and maybe dual meets once a week if there's no vaccine. But if there's a vaccine in those kind of delayed start seasons, they're probably going to run everything as normal with just maybe masks or something like that for the referees and kind of like coaches and teammates who aren't wrestling at the time. Then finally, the 4th option, which no one wants to hear, but it is likely for some states that do not decide to push back their wrestling season, and that is just straight up canceling wrestling season. This really sucks. I know a few states have done this. I think Maryland may have done it, not 100% sure, but some states are planning on doing this, and some states have already done this, and this really sucks. But some states, they might do like no competitions but practices, which is okay, I guess. But yeah, if you're in one of those states that decide that they do not want to have any wrestling season whatsoever, then I would probably go to a club if your parents allow it. And I don't know, it's kind of like a weird time that we're all in right now, and it's really all dependent on what happens in the next few weeks / months, if there's a vaccine, if there's like a cure, if cases start going down, if there's going to be a second wave, is there going to be a lockdown. It's all really dependent on all this stuff, so we can't really be sure. But hopefully there is a wrestling season for all of us. And whether or not there is a winter wrestling season, we all know for sure UWW wrestling's coming back, World Wrestling's coming back, USA Wrestling's coming back. Wrestling is going to be back, so do not worry. But yeah, that's going to wrap up this video. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to leave a like, comment down below, and sub for more wrestling content like this. Peace.